Hey guys, and you're listening to Baha. Well, this is an interesting one for us here. So, I recently made a video on the expansion of the year 2 and how the expansion of the map would eventually come out. But the last night they did this live stream. They had all the guys on the developers out there talking about it, and they have confirmed there will be no expansions of the map for year 2. Okay, so my video is somewhat obsolete. It's no longer required. It's no longer valid. It's no longer anything. Essentially, the map we have right now is the map they are going to essentially have for year 2. Okay, so there's plenty of videos out there right now talking about how the highlights, but this is the one thing you've got to take away from is there's no expansion to the playable area. They're just gonna rehash all the stuff we have right now, which means places like in Jeopard, the boat is obsolete. It's they've built it, they made it a part of the map. They did everything for it, but they have not bothered to release it in any sort of sense. And I see where they're going with this. Obviously, they want to keep the game alive for the time being. Just the new content drop was it was like, let's be honest, right? It was underwhelming, like so underwhelming. They basically have turned around and said that they they just don't really give a shit, to be honest with you. I mean, there's really no reason for them to do it with the game right now. And as far as I'm concerned, this is basically just the stall period. They obviously see all the problems with the game, and instead of saying, yeah, sure, we're gonna do this and could do that, they recently hired like 200 extra people to work at Massive. But that, as we know, is for Avatar. So they're kind of handing off the reins of this game to other companies to maintain, but they're really not really. They're can be saying like they'll be the main sort of players in this sort of thing, but really they're just giving it off to everyone else to do the bits and bobs for it. And it is bits and bobs. I was expecting some sort of like, whoa, whoa. I mean, like we've got this and we've got that, and we're gonna do this, and we're gonna go here, we're gonna go there, we're gonna go to this area where the boat is. We're gonna have raids. We're gonna have these kind of drops. We're gonna have these kind of contents. May increase gear score, and we have been told there won't be an increase in gear score and won't be an increase on level. No expansions to the playable area, so there is literally going to be nothing new. Me personally, um, I'm probably going to be going and playing something else. I know the guys have even talked about this weekend, even playing some GTA, so I might stream some of that. I was having a good time there. Obviously, our core agents will probably move now. Obviously, Borderlands coming out. A lot of the focus has been taken off the division, and obviously they want to move away the focus as much as possible, especially Borderlands, Wildlands we call it, Wildlands, and they've obviously wanted to take away the focus from the division. Obviously, you can log in, but as the book, the way I want to look at it is like it's going to be like an app game. It's going to be like for casuals. Like if you're a hardcore gamer, like you're going to be feeling it in the next 2 to 3 months. I've got, oh god, how much hours have I got? I've got like 1,500 hours of gameplay or something like that, and I've got money's worth for it. It's just now's probably the time to start thinking about the future of what you're wanting to game with. Essentially, you can obviously come back to Division, and it will still be there, live servers. It will still be operating. It just won't be operating under any sort of context of like, oh, this is happening, this is happening. I mean, obviously, a lot of people do reference to the Division and Destiny. They reference the two of them together. Destiny is just Destiny's Destiny. It's taken off. It's doing its own thing. It's rehashing things, and it's got year Division Two, Destiny Two coming out. Is going to be happening, and obviously we get content dropping the Switch. The Twitch was it was really bad. It was really poor, to be honest with you. I didn't. Do you know what way I joined in? I watched it, and I was just like myself, oh, right, okay, I probably missed something. They've probably done all the fun stuff for later on, and they've said all this stuff, and I'm like, oh my god, I missed it all. But I'll get the bits and drops of information, and no, there wasn't any. There was no like major drops in content. There was no we're going to be doing this and we're going to have this, and it just seemed so underwhelming. It it was it was really poor, to be honest with you. As a community, we should have obviously we've said all this stuff like as a community. We've said like, oh, give us this, give us that. I mean, out of year two, I was expecting more than just loadouts and new mission conditions. I mean, it really is like in my head, I genuinely thought they were gonna do things like differently. Where they said, "Oh, we're gonna do things differently," and like when it kind of sank in, I kind of sat back. I kind of thought to myself, the only thing they could really do to make it different was do like the missions in reverse. I mean, how cool would that be to approach the mission and instead of starting it from the start, you started from the end and worked your way along the way? That would be good. That'd be cool to kind of do because you obviously could see it from like the different perspective. Obviously, the boss wouldn't be at the end. You would have to then go to the start, which would be the end, and combat would be a bit different. But take some mechanics to do essentially. Um, but as the sort of content itself, I thought it was going to be cool. I was actually going to do a different one as well for Central Park expansion, but that looks like it's not going to be relevant either. Obviously, if you go to Dark Zone now, the new one, there's billboards saying CPO1, blah blah blah. And I thought that was going to be what was going to happen next, but as we've confirmed, there is no new content to be dropped, no new areas of gameplay, which makes me feel like they are just going in the sort of like not even like direction. It just kind of shows that they have handed off the reins, and this is the cool stuff. This is some stuff they're putting in here and there to keep the sort of day to day as still fresh as possible for the casuals. Obviously, they haven't said anything about the hardcore players. As one of the hardcore players myself, I generally think that they don't have any plans for us whatsoever. I don't think they want to change it up at all. There's some big games coming out soon, and I think that the division is going to have a drop and its stuff. Like once this becomes like official and they've got it in writing somewhere, what exactly is year two? I think a lot of people are just gonna go and go, what? They're doing what? That's that's year two. Like you're doing two free expansions, but that's it for the year. What? I mean, it's you're gonna look at it and go, right. So where's the rest of it then? Like, but the so you did five expansions in year one, and year two comes out and you're doing two. They're gonna be free, yeah, but you're not even gonna expand them up. What the fuck? I mean, so you're kind of seeing like even myself, right? I'm like, I'll be honest, right? I'll drop my phone voice as well. Um, yeah, I'm gonna try and grab my phone voice. I'm still talking here. I'm like, um, yeah, it's like the way I see it is that they, if they wanted to make this a competitive game on the market, they would be like, oh, we're gonna drop so much shit on players that they're not gonna know what to do themselves. And so far, as the sort of trends gone through, is that we get a new expansion. We're all angsty for a month before that expansion. We get the expansion, and then we get about a month or two into the expansion, and then we start picking at all the faults, or the faults start catching up with us. The honeymoon effect ends, and we start picking at it. We start looking at things differently, like was it 7, and 8? No, 7, 8, and 9. DZ. So I was talking about this, like doing this math. I did this math thing like on the division before, right? Um, was that the map for the LZ was 70% of the game, the playable area, right, for the LZ, and the DZ was 30%. Right, with the expansion to the Dark Zone, you now have the LZ being 65% of the map, and the DZ being like 35, right? Or 65 and 35, right? But the problem was with the Light Zone was that there was so much wrong with it. It was so sporadic and everything was out there. The density of mobs was like one group of mob for every 3 streets in the LZ, so that's like maybe like 40% of that. If you take a whole, so you take the 70%, make it as a whole of 100%, only 40% of that area was actually going to be filled, right, with mobs, right? The rest of it was missions. So we took the DZ was 30%, right, and that had 80%. So there's literally a mob per every street, right? So you kind of get that context, right? So with the 35%, then you would think that this ratio would actually go up. It has actually gone down from 80 to roughly about 60%. So what this means is when you go to DZ 7, 8, and 9, there is no random mobs walking about the street. What? Like, it doesn't make sense in my head, right? But when you walk about, I noticed that there was no engagements between landmarks. Even though there's like a shitload of landmarks now, there is literally like no. There's nothing going on. There's nothing on the streets that make it even better. I mean, in the lower DZs, you've got mobs galore. You've got like mobs in between different places and stuff like that. We've still got landmarks that don't work on the DZ, that make no sense why they're even still marked as marked, right? So you can see things like that. There's like loads of stuff there that's not been used or had never been used or didn't work, blah blah blah. But there was still a large density of mobs. But when you get to the new expansions, there wasn't, right? So we'd asked for a lot of things over the last year. We'd asked for landmarks in the LZ. Asked for different like quality of life stuff, like new servers, blah blah blah. And it looks like we're not getting it. Essentially, this next year is going to be coasting it. The year 2 is going to be coasting to the coasty motherfucker coast. It's going to be a case of let's do the bare minimum that we can possibly do. We'll make it out to be cool. We'll add in some vanity items, blah blah. But really, year 2 is pretty much going to be the end. Like this is like, so I think it's kind of ended now. Okay. So on the year anniversary of year one was the best we're gonna get out of this game, right? It does not mean that the Division 2 will redeem itself. Not even redeem, like more like reimagine our universe. If you know what I mean. So they have kind of committed to doing the whole thing of the division. Massive said they're completely committed to, and so is Ubisoft. So we are going to have like Division 2 and stuff like that. I can only hope Division 2 is going to be basically all the things we wanted from the game, but and I'm prettier version, if you know what I mean. So taking all the stuff we have now, um, taking all this stuff like the graphics and the map itself, all the kind of cool skills. I think that the year two is what we're going to be looking at next. Like the division two is not instead of like year two. Okay, I think we need to kind of get to grips with that. Is that this game itself, like if you think about it as in like the disc you have, right? The disc you have is essentially going to be rendered useless, right? Like you have all these things like all like achievements and stuff like that, blah blah blah. But generally, the disc you have in your game and your console, if you have bought it or whatever you bought it, just think of it as I guess disc, right? This game is going to be dying soon. It's going to go down in popularity. There's not going to be much to keep the game afloat, essentially, right? There's just going to be kind of coasting its way through year two. And this is basically what we're going to look at. The next disc you get, however, the Division 2 will be all the stuff that we want, all the stuff we're going to need. Hopefully they kind of do other things. Massive will do Avatar. Obviously, Massive will look at all the other expansions to stuff. So it's not even like Last Stand is gonna save us. Like they've not even they pretty much said that Last Stand doesn't even get any more game modes. Or any more bits and bobs. So as we see it, the game we have right now in our computer, the disc we have in the PlayStation or Xbox is it. That's it. There's no other expansions coming to it, no other places to play or find out. So the next time you can expect to get something more from your gaming experience with the Division is going to be the Division 2. Right, that's where we're going to look at, right? And that's a kind of buzzkill to a lot of people. I've invested a lot of hours to it. Again, I love the game. There's a lot of YouTubers starting to see this, and we're obviously well, not we. I'm not really a YouTuber, kind of shit. Not of the game before you start hating. And generally speaking, like a lot of people are starting to realise this, and I think we all need to sort of get to grips with the fact that the Division as we know it is coming to an end. Okay, this game, this disc, this one here is going to be ending, but it doesn't mean that the next disc we get, Division 2, we're all going to come back again and doing the same shit. Right? So, it's sad that like without actually fucking saying it, they've just kind of went, yeah, so year 2 is going to be absolute gash. Good luck with that. So, I mean, it's like, yay, year one should have been, they should have just went like that. Well, year one's come to an end, yay. It should be a week instead of a celebration. So, anyway, guys, I will stop babbling on. If you want to check out all the other videos online, there is some good ones there, been done by other YouTubers. Obviously, check the highlights yourself if you don't believe me. Go ahead and check it out and see what you think. But generally speaking, it's pretty much you're going to see the same thing from a lot of places. A lot of people are going to stop playing the game now. A lot of YouTubers are going to be covering different things. We've done everything we possibly can. There's going to be new gear sets or new gear in year 2. So yeah. I mean, we're all here for the grinds because we're all grinders, but really, it's going to be like playing any other different game, like Call of Duty or something. It's going to be a casual game from now on. Okay, guys. So anyway, I've enjoyed my time on the Division. Hopefully, the guys at Massive can do a lot more in year 2 and get their arses in gear. Hopefully, they'll get some major changes like from the year 1. But it's a learning experience. They've hopefully learned a lot more, and hopefully we see a lot more in the future. Anyway, guys, it has been fun. I have enjoyed my time on the Division, and hopefully We will see you all in other games. Enjoy what you're doing anyway right now, and as usual, have fun. See you later, guys.